Hello viewers, for PMP exam preparation, we are discussing on agile practices. Today's in this video actually we will be focusing on all the common agile practices like sprint, scrum, kanban and many more. All these practices we will be discussing in this video. So actually why and how we use these common agile practices. Normally, these practices are designed for holistic use. People can use them holistically overall when they need them, or they can be used in a formalized for common purpose. So whenever you use it, you will use it fully for your purpose, or it can be like popular in modern use. So in the modern world, we actually use in many parts of our work, either in organization or in every product. So let's start what are they and how they work in reality. So the first one is, you can see in the slide, the first one is the Scrum. What is Scrum? Scrum is a single team process framework. It's a process framework. Scrum is a process framework. It's a single team process framework used to manage product development. So this framework actually consists of some Scrum rules. As we told in previous sentence that Scrum is a process. It's a process framework, and this process includes Scrum roles, events, artifacts, Scrum rules. So there are four words: Scrum roles, Scrum events, Scrum artifacts, Scrum rules, and uses an iterative approach to deliver working product. So to deliver a working product, we have Scrum roles, events, artifacts, and rules. So Scrum is actually run on time box of 1 month or less. There will be a time box. It can be 1 month or less or more. So with consistent durations called sprint. So it will have a Scrum is a process. Within it, there will be a time box like 1 month or less, and there will be sprint, more specific time box, where a potential releasable increment of product is produced. Now, a part of product or potentially increment of product will be produced in a sprint by using the Scrum processes. So in Scrum, actually the Scrum team consists of with three kinds of people. Number one is product owner, number two is development team, and number three is Scrum master. So product owner, development team, and Scrum master. What are they? The product owner is responsible for maximizing the value of product. So the focus of the product owner is always the value of the product. And number two, the development team. The development team is a self-organizing team consisting of team members who have everything they need within the team to deliver working product. So whatever your product, if you want to deliver it within a specific time box like sprint, you need to have the resources. So team members should be in that capable that they have all the qualities and skills to prepare this product. So their development is a cross-functional and self-organizing team consisting of team members who have everything they need within the team to deliver working conduct without depending on others outside of the team. And who will be the Scrum Master? The Scrum Master is responsible for ensuring the Scrum process. As you told you, that Scrum is a process. It has some artifacts, rules, procedures. So the Scrum process are there. So the Scrum Master is responsible for ensuring the Scrum process is upheld and works to ensure the Scrum teams adheres to the practices and rules of Scrum, as well as coaches the team on removing impediments. So Scrum Master has two activities. Number one is it maintain the processes of Scrum, and number two, it maintain the practice and rules of Scrum, and number three is it actually work on removing impediments of the work. So what are the events? As we have told you that these are the practices or process of Scrum. So what are the process or rules of Scrum? What are the events? So these are sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint interview, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. What is sprint? A sprint is a time box period in which one part of the product is produced. It's a time. It can be 15 days. It's okay. So within 15 days, you will make something. So you are making a website for online marketing. So this is your main product. But in one sprint, like within 15 days time box, you will make a user login folder in the website. And that's your focus. So this part of the product you'll be making on this sprint within a time box. So this time box of 15 days or more, less or more is called the sprint. Then what is sprint planning? Sprint planning is what will be done in the coming sprint. So before the sprint starts, you have to plan what are the tasks, activities, design you'll be doing within these 15 days or less or more the sprint. So in a sprint, if you want to do something, you make a plan, and that's called sprint planning. And what is daily Scrum? When you'll be working in the team, in a Scrum team, you'll do meetings for 15 minutes every day. So 15 minutes meeting daily is called the daily Scrum. It's a meeting. In the predictive, we have stand-up meeting, and here we have daily Scrum. So it's a 15 minutes short meetings in which you will actually share the progress and obstacles in the work. And what is sprint review? After the sprint, when you have prepared the user login, I have given the example of making a folder of user login. So you have made it. Now give it to the stakeholder to get the feedback. So after a sprint, whatever you have made, you will get the feedback from the stakeholders. That's called the sprint review. And what is sprint retrospective? Retrospective is also after the sprint, but it's about the process of the sprint. The sprint is finished, the part of the product or product is already finished, and now you will check if the process are done properly, what you have done, how you have done, what was everyone's role, what are the successes, what are the failures, what were the obstacles. So you see all the processes is actually good or not. So that's called the sprint retrospective. Retrospective focus on the processes, and sprint review focus on the product, quality of the product, standard of the product, delivery of done deliverables. So these are the things actually. All these sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, sprint retrospective, all are the part of Scrum process. And what are the artifacts? So we have product backlog, sprint backlog, and increments. What is the difference between them? Product backlog actually all the things of the product. As I have given the example, one company is making a website. For website, we have many things to do. We need to buy hosting. We have to design the website. We need many folders of the website, user login, payment option, and many more. So all these together called the product backlog when the list is done. So all the list to make the product is called a product backlog, and it is made by the product owner based on the product storage. And what is sprint backlog? Then whatever you are going to do within a sprint. So from the product backlog, we will pick some of the options you will be making. For example, in a website, you will make a payment option, payment gateway you will be adding. So just one thing, this payment gateway will be working for 15 days in a sprint. So this, whatever you need for this payment gateway in the website, these are the thing actually will be working on 15 days sprint, and it's called sprint backlog. Whatever you need for this sprint to prepare for it, so you call it sprint backlog. And what are the increments? So if each of these sprint you will be making something, and that part of the product or feature of the product will be deliverable and will be used by the ultimate customers. So whenever you make something, the part of the product, but it can be used by the uh, customer, it's called the one increment. So first you design a website and you start it so customer can watch it, they can log in it. Then you will put a user login option, and they can people can use for registering it, get into it. This is another increment. Then you will put a gateway for payment. This is people can use it. That is another increment. So each of the part of the website you are using it, then it becomes an increment. So for increment, it should be after the sprint, after the deliverables, part of the deliverables, and when the deliverables can be used by the customer. It can be smaller portion, but people can use it to get the feedback. So that's called the increment. So product backlog, sprint backlog, increments, all things are clear now. All these things are actually part of the Scrum process. Lean, less, Scrum of Scrum, crystal milestone, disciplined agile, safe, Kanban, feature driven development. All these will be discussed now. Next is extreme programming. In brief, we call it XP. Extreme programming is actually most known for popularizing a holistic set of practices intended to improve the result of software projects. So this word actually comes from the SP programming, but where actually a set of holistic practices are done. The objective is to improve the result of software project. So how you can enhance the result of software project, and what will be the tools or procedures. That's the focus of XP programming. So the method was first formalized as a set of 12 primary practices, but then gradually evolved to adopt several other corollary practices. So the core values of XP are communication is main focus, then simplicity, then feedback is taken regularly, and courage is there to make new thing, to add new features, and respectful to the seller and customer, to between the team members. They are respectful to each other. And there are some key principles in the XP programming. One is there should be humanity, economics, mutual benefit must be there, self similarity, improvement, diversity, reflection, flow, and opportunity should be there, redundancy, failure, and quality, baby steps, step by step you'll be incrementing, and accepted responsibility. Whatever you've done, you should take the responsibility. That's the principles of extreme programming. If you see, it can be used in the organization, in the technical sector, for planning and for integration. For organization, actually, the team can sit together in a whole team, and there can be informative workspace, real customer involvement can be there, team continuity can work, and sustainable pace should be there. In the technical sector, there should be pair programming, test fast programming, incremental design, and they should have shared code of collective ownership, and documents from code and test reflect refactoring. In the planning sector, they can use the user stories, weekly cycle, quarterly cycle, and Slack, and they can find the root cause analysis, shrinking teams, pay per use, negotiated scope contract, and daily stand up. In the integration sector, actually, XP program ensures the 10-minute building, continuous integration, test fast option, and single code base, incremental deployment, and daily deployment. So these are the feature of XP product practice area in all these areas, in organization, in technical sector, in planning, and in integration. Now the common word, the Kanban. What is Kanban? Kanban method. This is inspired by the just-in-time inventory system. Taichi Ohno developed Kanban, and it was applied in the main Toyota manufacturing facility in 1953. So actually the word Kanban is literally translated as a visual sign or card. It's a visual sign or card. Physically, Kanban boards with cards enable and promote the visualization and flow of the work. So this is best with the following condition. In Kanban, there is the flexibility, and you can focus on continuous delivery. You can focus on increased productivity and quality. You can make the situation that increased efficiency. Team member can focus here, and variability in the workload and reduction of waste is ensured. So these are the feature or area you can use this Kanban method. So what you do? Actually, first you define what you will do, your task. Then start with the current state, where you are. Then you can visualize the workflow. Then you can agree to pursue incremental and evolutionary change. So limit work in progress, manage flow. You should respect the current process, roles, responsibilities, and title encourages acts of leadership at all levels. So we should make a process, policies, explicit, implement feedback loops, improve collaboratively. So actually the main thing is you start with the current state and visualize the workflow in a board. So everyone is agreed to pursue the incremental evolutionary changes, and in the respectful manner, each one is working step by step. So let me see the picture. So if you make a Kanban board, this is a Kanban board or whiteboard. This is a Kanban board. In Kanban board, you will make a list of works. So this is a to-do. You have to do this work. In short, you can do to-do list. To-do list is similar to a Kanban board. So to-do are here. What are the tasks you are going to do? So then you have three tasks to do: analysis, development, test. Let's say one example here, the website designing. So you will list the works here, then at the analysis part you are doing, so put here. If this part is done, put them here. So two activities actually you are doing, and when it's done you put them here. Then it comes to this part, development part. If you are doing, put it here. If it is done, put it here. So in that manner you can put from here. So whatever your task is there, this task will be going in the right order. So if it is analyzed, it will be here. If it is development stage, it will go on here. And then comes to the test. You are testing here. Testing is done, then put the deployment. That means closing, done. So in that manner, actually, all these tasks will be finished in a certain specific time. So by this, you can actually see, you can demonstrate to the team members where you are, how many tasks are there, how many you have in the analysis stage, how many you have in the development stage, how many tests are done, how many already done. So you can see at a glance, and each day, each hour, this is a changing actually. By watching the board, you can compare your capacity and in skill and efficiency and in improvement. The next one is crystal methods. Crystal methodologies are designed to scale and provide a selection of methodology rigor based on project size. This is a selection of methodology rigor based on project size and the criticality. So there are two features. If product size is big, number of people involved in the project, how many, and the critical, then you can use this crystal methodologies. What is this? It's a set of policies, practices, and processes in order to meet the project's unique characteristics. So, as the project is critical, so you will find some unique characteristics to understand what is it and how we can implement this critical junction. So, the family of methodologies use different colors based on weight to determine which methodology to use. So, you will select these unique characteristics. Based on this, you will select some colors. So you will put some colors to find the criticality and the project size. So in on that base, actually use the word crystal comes from the gemstone where the various faces represent. So you can put face icon and it will be like a gemstone. That's why name is crystal methods. But that can be colorful. You can use different colors. So let's check one example here. You can see this is an example of these crystal methods. So you have different color: crystal color, crystal yellow, crystal clear, crystal orange, crystal red. So these are the different colors. This is a black and white print, but you can find it. You will use different colors to understand what kind of, because in this side we have the criticality and this side we have number of people involved. So number of people is more, it will be in this way. Number of critical amount of criticality or the criticality is more will be in this side. So this one is more critical, needs more people. So in this way you can make different colors, and based on the color, it will indicate you what kind of criticality, how many people are there, and what sort of Scrum or Agile practices you will be using for this one. So this is an example of crystal. So the main values of crystal are people. The main focus is people, interaction between them, the community and the skills and the communication pattern. So the common properties are frequent delivery. You will be delivering frequently, and there will be reflective improvement after each sprint, after each part, each iteration. You will reflect and you will improve it, and there will be close communication, osmotic communication, and there will be personal safety must. And for communication, you use easy access to expert users and technical environment with automated test, configuration management, and frequent integration. So this is end of the crystal properties. Now another word is Scrumban. What is Scrumban? Scrumban. There is two words, Kanban and Scrum. Together is Scrumban. Scrumban is an agile approach originally designed as a way to transform from Scrum to Kanban. From Scrum to Kanban, you are transforming. So as additional agile framework and methodologies emerged, it became an evolving hybrid framework in and itself where teams use Scrum as a framework and Kanban for process improvement. So Scrum will be a framework. You will be using Scrum practices, sprint review, sprint retrospective, all these, but you will be following a Kanban process. Like Kanban board, you will be going step by step, work in process. So in Scrumban, the work is originally into small sprints and leverages the use of Kanban boards to visualize and monitor the work. So these stories are placed on the Kanban board, and the team manage its work by using work in progress limit. So all these stories will be in the Kanban board, and one by one you will be working on it. So based on work in progress limits, daily meetings are held to maintain the collaboration and between the team and to remove impediments. A planning trigger is set in place for the team to know when to plan text. Before the starting sprint, you can plan. So when you will be planning, there will be a planning trigger. Typically when the work is in progress level is lower than a predetermined limit, and there are no predefined rules in Scrum. The team retains their current rules. That's all. And now the feature driven development. This is another one. Feature driven development. Focus on feature. So was developed to meet the specific needs of large software development project. When we need specific needs for a large software development project, we use feature driven development. So feature related to small value capability. Feature, that means small business value. So there are 6 primary rules on a feature-driven development projects where individuals can take one or more of the following rules. So each individual can take one rule or 2 rules. So there will be 6 primary rules. Number 1 is project manager, chief architect, development manager, chief programmer, class owner, and domain expert. So these are the actually roles. And feature driven development project is organized around 5 processes. There will be 5 processes or activities which are performed iteratively. So in each iteration it will be repeated again, these 5 processes. Number 1 is develop an overall model. First develop an overall model, then build a feature list, then plan by the feature, then design by the feature, then build by the feature. So first develop an overall model, then build feature, plan feature, design feature, and build by feature. So feature driven development activities are supported by core set of software engineering best practices, domain object modeling, developing by feature, individual class ownership, feature teams, inspection, configuration management, regular builds, and visibility of progress and results. So this is can be an example that this slide you can see there is a figure. Actually, first you will develop higher level model, then you will develop feature list, then plan by feature, then you will design the feature, then build by feature, and revise the model, or you can start again. So this will be circular system in iteration based. So in each iteration you will be repeating it, and by that you can actually ensure the feature driven development. Now the another one we call it dynamic system development method. Dynamic, the word is dynamic, the main feature. The dynamic system development method, DSDM, emphasis on constraint driven delivery. Constraint driven delivery. So there will be some constraint. So constraints are the main focus. The framework will set cost, quality, and time at the outset, and then use formalized prioritization. So when you have constraint of cost, constraint of quality, constraint of time, then you will focus on this in the framework. For example, you will complete the work within this cost constraint, or you will complete the work within this cost quality constraint, or you will complete this work within this time limit. So that's the main focus. To meet the constraint you will try. So here there will be 8 principles that guide the use of DSDM framework. Number 1 is focus on the business need. Number 2 is deliver on time. Number 3 is collaborate. Number 4 is never compromise the quality. Quality is must. Number 5 is build incrementally from foundation. Start from foundation and complete it. Develop iteratively, so it will be rounding, repeating in each iteration. Communicate continuously and clearly. So you have to ensure the communication continuously and clearly, and demonstrate control of the quality, cost and time. And that's if you can follow these 8 principles by focusing on the constraints of cost, quality and time, that's we call dynamic system development method, DSDM. So this is a figure here. Normally, traditionally we do time, cost here and quality here, and we add the feature. But in the DSDM approach, you are actually first focusing on cost, time, and quality. The main focus is on cost, time, quality. And then you will do your functions focusing this constraint, maintaining this constraint. Now the Agile Unified Process. So the Agile Unified Process is an offshoot of the United Process for software projects. It features more accelerated cycles and less heavyweight process than its unified process predecessor. So the key element of Agile Unified Process are model, disciplines within release, model, implementation, test, deployment, configuration management, project management, and environment. These are the key elements of Agile Unified Processes. And the principles are: the team knows what it's doing, there will be simplicity, agility, focus on high value activities, true independence, and tailoring to fit and situationally specific. So these are the principles. Now the scaling framework, the Scrum of Scrum. The word is Scrum of Scrum. So Scrum of Scrums, also known as Meta Scrum, is a technique used when two or more Scrum teams consist of 3 to 9 members. Each need to coordinate their work instead of one large Scrum. So we have discussed Scrum. What is Scrum? So here actually you will have many Scrum working separately and together connecting. So it's a technique used when two or more Scrum teams consisting of 3 to 9 members each need to coordinate their work instead of one large Scrum team. A representative from each team attends a meeting within the other team representatives, potentially daily, but typically 2 or 3 times a week. So this slide can show you it's in an easier way. You can understand here that you have many scrums. So this is one scrum, this is another scrum, this is another scrum. These are the single scrum. So they are connecting into this, and this 4 is connecting to this 4 is connected to this 4 is connected to this. So this is called scrum of scrums. And then these 3 is connected to this. So this is actually scrum of scrums. So Scrum of Scrums, and Scrum of Scrums. Now the Scaled Agile Framework, SAFe. The Scaled Agile Framework focuses on providing a knowledge base of patterns for scaling development work. Knowledge base. Providing a knowledge base of patterns for scaling development work across all levels of enterprise. So SAFe is focused on the following principles. Number 1 is take an economic view. The economic view is focus. They apply systems thinking. System thinking will be there. And they assume variability, preserve options. They build incrementally with fast, integrated, and learning cycles. The milestones on objectives, evolution of working systems. Visualize and limit work in progress, and reduce batch sizes and manage queue lengths. They apply the cadence synchronized with cross-domain planning. They also unlock the intrinsic motivation of knowledge workers, decentralized decision making. So SAFe actually focus on detailing the practices, rules, and activities at the portfolio, program, and team levels, within an emphasis on organizing the enterprise around value streams that focus on providing continuous value to the customer. Now the large scale Scrum, we call it less. Large scale Scrum. When Scrum is much bigger, then we call it large scale Scrum. Large scale Scrum is a framework for organizing several development teams toward a common goal extended the Scrum method. So there are some similarities in the less and Scrum. One single product backlog, one definition of done for all teams, one potentially shippable product increment at the end of each sprint, one product owner, and complete cross-functional teams, one sprint. And less techniques also add some more. Sprint planning is more formally divided into two parts of what and how: organic cross team coordination, overall cross team refinement are there, and overall retrospective focused on cross team improvements. These are the addition here. And now this enterprise Scrum. What is enterprise Scrum? The enterprise Scrum is a framework designed to apply the Scrum method on a more holistic organizational level rather than a single product development. So this focus is on organizational level. That's why it's called enterprise Scrum. Especially the framework advises organization leaders to extend the use of Scrum across all the aspects of the organization, all the aspects of the enterprise, all the aspects of the company or of an institution. So aspects and scale the Scrum method with supplemental techniques are necessary. So the whole enterprise, each of the components of the enterprise or the organization is covered by the Scrum system. That's why it's called the enterprise system. Holistic organizational level it works. On the other hand, the disciplined agile is actually focus on the too narrow focus or too prescriptive in detail. So if you call only focus, if you call it only Scrum, it's actually too narrow in focus on one product. If you tell about Agile UP, it's too perspective in detail. That's why this two it's called the disciplined Agile. They are focusing on specific product or specific prescriptive in detail. So principles are people first, learning oriented, full delivery of life cycle, goal driven, enterprise awareness, and scalable. So this is the product based or too narrow or prescriptive detail like Agile UP, but it differs from the enterprise Scrum. So I will be stopping here. These 14 Agile common practices are discussed in this video. There are 14. Can you remember them? Scrum, Kanban, XP, Crystal, Enterprise Scrum, Disciplined Agile, Scrum of Scrum, less large scale Scrum, and more. So all these are discussed here. Thank you so much.